Okay, if you didn't know, you know now. There are 8 systems running your business. 4 of them are the foundation, 4 of them are for scale. And the single most expensive mistake I see service providers making is that they try to build the scaling system on top of broken foundations. So today I'm going to show you why your order matters and what happens when you get it wrong. Quick recap, if you're new here, the 8 SystemLens breaks down every business operation into 2 tiers. Your foundation systems, 1 through 4, process, waste, degradation, and memory. These are your prerequisites. Boring stuff maybe, things people don't get up and talk about at conferences and events, but it's the stuff that actually determines whether your business can grow. Systems 5 through 8 are about scale. This is your automation. This is AI. This is fancy simulation and projections. This is great things that you do with data analysis. They're amplifiers, exciting stuff that everyone's selling you. But that stuff only works brilliantly when you have a solid foundation. It turns into catastrophe on a broken foundation. So it's simple. Build the foundation before you scale. Always, no exceptions. And I'm going to show you why. Here's what happens when you skip the foundation, right? Let me paint you a picture. Say you're a consultant doing $400,000 a year. Maybe you're a bit overwhelmed and someone tells you to automate your client onboarding. It seems like it makes sense, right? You're spending hours on this client onboarding every week. So you buy an automation tool, you set it up, right? Your welcome email goes out automatically. If there's a folder that needs to be created for the project, that happens by itself. And the intake form gets sent out. Beautiful, right? And in week 1, that works great. In week 3, maybe you get a client complaint about the intake form taking too long or being incorrect. Maybe you realize in week 5 that there's some issues with the naming conventions that are causing errors with your automations across folders and projects, right? By the time you reach week 8 or week 12, you might realize it's costing you more time than it's worth, right? If a process isn't properly being documented, right? If you have multiple versions of different resources without coordination and things that are being recreated in duplicates, right? You're reworking, you're building in extra work when systems 1 through 4 would have taken care of this before you got to system 5 of automation. You just replicated your chaos at scale. This is the key insight. The scaling systems are amplifiers. They take whatever exists and makes it bigger, faster, and louder. So, a good process plus automation equals good results, faster. Broken processes plus automation equal broken results, faster. A good memory system plus AI will give you an intelligent output. No memory system plus AI is just hallucinated garbage. Consistent quality plus data tracking equals meaningful metrics. Inconsistent quality plus data tracking equals noise that you might think is a bit of a signal. Every scale system amplifies the foundation underneath it. If the foundation is solid, then amplification is a gift. If the foundation is broken, then that amplification is a curse. That's the entire framework. So even with your foundation, the order still matters for those systems. You start with your process. You must document what you do. You must get it out of your head. If it's messy, it's fine. A bad process map is infinitely better than a process that only exists in your brain. Then comes your waste system. Now that you can see your processes, what leaks, what's unnecessary, what's redundant, what are you doing because it's the way you've always done it? Cut those things, don't automate them, cut them out, right? System 3, degradation. Is your quality consistent? Are you delivering to the same standard at client 50 as you were at client 1, if not better? Right? You must fix that because when you add scale systems, anything that falls apart as you add to it is going to be garbage. For memory, you must log your client interactions, document your decisions and why you made them, record your failure modes and how you solved them. This is the data layer that makes everything downstream more intelligent. So in that order, your process, your waste, your degradation, your memory, and only then think about automation, AI, simulation, and data. So once your foundation is solid, the scale systems build on each other too. Automation, the simplest scale system, rules-based. If this, then that. No judgment required. It's on autopilot, brainless. You automate the repetitive tasks that you now documented and quality controlled. This is the first payoff of that foundation work. When it comes to AI, pattern recognition and generation of content, now that you've, again, documented processes, you have a captured memory that AI has something to work with. You feed your SOPs, client history, learnings from projects. You can get drafts, summaries, recommendations, which you review and approve. When it comes to simulation, right, you want to test things out before you commit to them. You want to have financial models before you change your prices. You want to do a pilot of a product before you roll it out. You want to role play difficult situations. The cost of simulation is almost zero. The cost of learning in production can be catastrophic. System 8, data, measurement, and feedback loops. Now you're tracking what matters and you're acting on it. Not just vanity metrics, but real decision-making context. Each layer builds on the other, and each layer assumes the other ones are working. But here's how you figure out where you are right now. Ask yourself, what of those 8 is the lowest numbered one that's broken? If your processes aren't documented, you're still on system 1. Everything above that is premature. If you have processes but they're full of waste, then you're up to system 2. You need to make sure that you're taking care of the byproducts of the things that are going on in your organization before you move on. Right? System 3, there's no point in tracking data on inconsistent outputs. If you have no institutional memory for system 4, your AI will underperform until that piece is a part of the puzzle. So find the lowest broken system, fix that one, then move up. Don't skip a step, don't jump ahead, because the scaling systems are more exciting. The boring work comes first. It's just how it is. So take this free scorecard that I made. It runs you through all 8 systems in 5 minutes and tells you your weakest link. Not where it's exciting, but where things are broken. You can find the link to get that down in the description.